In this lesson, we'll revisit some of the NURBS techniques that we previously used in order to build some hood geometry. Right, so this is the portion of the car that we need to fill in right now. And if we look, we have a couple of curves right here. We have a curve for the as part of the windshield that we can use for the top. We have a curve down here, and we have this long curve defining the belt line of this car right here. The problem is we've modified our geometry a little bit and sloped it down a little bit more, so these no longer match up just exactly. So just tweak that just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and center my pivot on this front curve and go ahead and just pull it down and kind of into position there to kind of match up with that front panel. And this guy, I'm going to go ahead, just going to select the CVs and pull them down and match them up with this existing panel that we have here. If you want to, you can go ahead and even subdue that so you've got a smooth surface to match up with. And get my curve here. And just grab those CVs and just match them up a little bit more if they're not totally in alignment there. And just pull this up a little bit. And I'm going to grab this one and pull him down. There we go. And you might need to pull it over a little bit as well. And this last one, just get it down there so that this it ends up right here where we want it to, right at the end. There we go. And just a couple more tweaks here. We should be good to go. Alright, so that's going to match up, I think, a lot better with our existing geometry. Let's go ahead and make sure that we snap this curve. I'm going to snap it to the new curve that we've just finished tweaking. Holding down C, I'm going to snap it right to that curve, and then I'm just going to go right down to this corner right there. And I'm just going to grab both of these guys and just move them in just slightly. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off my polygon car here, the part that we've created already, so that we're left with our curves. Now you see that this is the curve that we just manipulated, but we don't really need this whole portion of it. So it would be nice to actually just get the portion that's touching this curve and this curve. And there is actually a way to do that. If we go up to our edit curves, I'm going to select the first curve and then the long curve that we want to cut. I'm going to go to edit curves and just say cut curve. Now it's going to give you a message, could not find curve intersection. And that's because what it's doing is it's going to cut that curve wherever your first selected curve is intersecting it. So it has to be touching. In this case, we want to make sure that this curve is actually snapped right to that curve. Right there. And now if we try it again, go and select that curve, and then shift select your large curve, and go to edit curves, cut curve. You can see that that has created two curves. So we now have one curve here that's been cut at this point where this this curve has been snapped to it. Okay, so we need to do the same thing down here. And this one should work because we know that we already snapped that right to that curve. So I'm going to select both those curves and cut curve. And now we have this section of this curve. So now if we check our parameterization in our attribute editor, you can see that the spans of this curve are now 6 and our parameterization is a little bit off. So we need to go in and rebuild that curve. And we can leave it at 6 maybe. But I'm just going to rebuild, keeping the CVs. Just it's set to 0 to number of spans, just so that we get a nice parameterization here, 0 to 6 and 6. Alright, so now we need to just bring it over to the other side. So I'm going to just Control D to duplicate and scale that over right to the other side. Go ahead and freeze that. And now I'm just going to do a quick snap on all these points just to make sure, because we're going to be using bi-rail. We know how touchy that is, so we're going to just make sure snapping right to the ends. Make sure we snap right to the ends here. There we go. And just snap that and drag it right to the end point there. And one more snap right here. Right there. Alright, so now let's go ahead and use our bi-rail tool. Bi-rail 2. I'm going to select my second profile. Now I'm going to select my two rail curves. 1, 2. You can see you get a black surface like this. This is much like the polygon problem we had earlier with the reverse normals. This is a NURB surface, however, so to fix that, we can go up here and just reverse that surface direction. Okay. Now, if you see right here, we're getting a little bit of a lump there. You can go into our bi-rail settings, and you see this blend factor. It's basically the amount that it's blending between the first profile and the second profile. So right now, it's kind of halfway between as far as influence along this surface. You can see if you tweak that, this is blending more towards the top, so you can see it's curved all the way down. And if we just dial that down to 0, that's blending more towards the squared off part. And I kind of like that one a little bit more. Although we do get just a little bit of a bulge here. We can fix that real easy. I'm going to just go in and select a few of these points. And just move those along their normals, along the U, just a little bit, and down like that. Okay. So now we've got a nice piece of geometry that encompasses not only the hood, but the side portions of the hood that we can now use to pull out, extract the hood, and start building out the detail on the top part of this, or the front part of this car here. Okay, so the next lesson we'll actually go in, start converting this geometry to poly, start bringing out this part of the hood back here. We'll actually start cutting out the hood and getting all this detail worked out.